Ever feel like you're sending your kid off to like middle school or high school with a good luck out there banner and a crash helmet?
Totally. It's like a jungle out there, especially when it comes to peer pressure.
Right, it's a jungle and every parent's terrified of it. So instead of just like giving them a map and hoping for the best, we're diving into some tactics that can actually make a difference.
And we've got a great source for this. It's called Five Tips for Helping Your Child Deal with Peer Pressure. And it's got some really practical advice.
Okay, so tip number one is all about role playing. Now, before everyone starts picturing elaborate costumes and fake beards,
Although that could be fun.
it could be a blast, actually. But this is more about the why behind role playing. Why does this actually work?
Well, think of it this way. Every time your child practices saying no or navigating a tricky situation, they're basically like downloading a confidence app for their brain. The more they use it, the more natural it becomes.
So instead of it being this big, scary thing, it's like, oh, yeah, I've done this before. I know what to do.
Exactly. Like, say your kid's being pressured to, I don't know, try vaping, which seems to be like the thing these days.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Role playing gives them a chance to like test drive different responses in a safe space. Like, nah, I'm good. Secondhand cool isn't really my thing, or whatever resonates with them, you
Like
know?
giving them a verbal toolkit, right?
Exactly. And the more they practice, the more confident they'll be using those tools when it really matters.
It's all about building that confidence muscle. Now, the source also talks about building self-confidence as like a shield against all this negative peer pressure. It sounds kind of simple, but why is that so powerful?
Okay, imagine a tree with deep roots, right?
Okay, got it.
That tree, that's your kid with strong self-confidence. And all that peer pressure swirling around, that's just like a gust of wind. Might rustle some leaves, might be a little bit unsettling, but that tree ain't going anywhere.
I love that analogy. So how do we, as parents, help nurture those deep roots? Help build that unshakable self-confidence.
I think it starts with focusing on their effort, not just the outcomes, you know? Like, did they put their heart into that science project, even if it didn't get an A+8?
That's still a win in my book.
Exactly. Praise that effort and encourage their passions, even if, I don't know, maybe you secretly wish they were into something a little more mainstream than like competitive thumb wrestling.
Hey, you never know. That could be the next big thing.
You're right, you never know. The point is, let them explore, let them find what they love, and celebrate their wins, big or small, because every time they overcome a challenge, it just strengthens that foundation of self-confidence.
Makes total sense. Okay, moving on. Our source talks about the power of teaching kids to say no. It seems so simple, right? But we all know it's way tougher than it sounds, especially for kids. Why is that little word so dang hard?
Well, I think back to being that age, and it's all about fitting in, being part of the group. It's like this primal need, you know?
Yep.
Saying no can feel like risking social suicide, which to a young person is like the scariest thing imaginable.
Right. It's like, if I say no, will I still have friends tomorrow?
Mm.
So much pressure. So how do we give them the tools to navigate that social minefield?
We arm them with words. Role playing definitely helps. But we can also give them some ready-made phrases like, my mom would kill me, or a simple, not tonight, said
Yeah.
with confidence.
A little deflection never hurts.
Exactly. And honestly, never underestimate the power of a strategic retreat. Sometimes walking away can be the loudest no of all.
It's like, mic drop. I'm out of here. Okay, speaking of things that can be kind of loud and maybe not so well received, our source also mentions the importance of discussing consequences.
Yeah, but I think the key here is like how we talk about consequences, you know?
Because nobody wants to sit through a lecture.
Exactly. Ditch the lecture, embrace storytelling, find a news story about someone getting in trouble because they caved to peer pressure. Boom. Dinner time conversation just got a whole lot more interesting.
It's true. Or even using fictional scenarios. Like, imagine if your favorite book character did this. What do you think would happen?
Right. It makes it real without being preachy.
I love it. Make it real, not preachy.
Oh,
Okay, and finally, our source emphasizes the importance of just being a supportive listener. Now, that seems kind of obvious, but why is it so crucial in this whole peer pressure arena?
well, think of it like an emotional pressure valve, right? Even if kids aren't coming right out and saying, I need to talk about peer pressure, just having that safe space to vent, to process their day, even just to grumble about their least favorite teacher.
We all have one.
We all do. It allows them to release some of that pressure they're feeling.
It's like those seemingly insignificant chats while you're doing the dishes or driving carpool. They can actually be more impactful than we realize, huh?
Absolutely. They build trust, and that open line of communication is, like, the most important thing.
It's the foundation for everything. So as we wrap up this deep dive into helping our kids navigate the wild world of peer pressure, here's something to ponder. How will you adapt these strategies as your child gets older? Because the truth is, peer pressure, it doesn't magically disappear after high school.
Oh, no, it evolves.
Exactly. It just evolves and takes on different forms. So it's an ongoing conversation, not a one-time talk. And remember, our goal isn't to shield them from every single challenge life throws their way, but to give them the tools and the confidence to face those challenges head on.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.